Your investment portfolio is bleeding money right now. Not because you picked bad stocks, not because the market crashed, but because you built your financial house starting with the roof while ignoring the foundation that's literally crumbling beneath you. Most people start investing backwards. They buy Bitcoin while carrying credit card debt at 24% interest. They dump money into individual stocks while their employer is literally offering them free money they're not taking. They open taxable brokerage accounts before maxing out accounts that could save them thousands in taxes every single year. The average person loses over $47,000 in their lifetime just from getting the investment order wrong. That's not a typo. $47,000 evaporated because they couldn't resist the excitement of picking stocks before building the boring foundation that actually matters. You're about to learn the exact sequence wealthy people follow, the order that mathematically guarantees you'll build wealth faster while taking less risk, and the one step that 64% of Americans are completely skipping that's costing them a guaranteed 100% return on their money. Picture this. You just got your tax refund, $3,000 sitting in your checking account. Your coworker won't stop talking about how much money he made on some tech stock. Your Instagram feed is flooded with people bragging about their crypto gains. The investment apps on your phone are sending you notifications about hot opportunities. So you do what feels natural. You open a brokerage account and start buying. Maybe some index funds if you're being responsible. Maybe individual stocks if you're feeling confident. Maybe a little crypto because why not diversify? Meanwhile, you've got $8,000 in credit card debt from that vacation and some unexpected car repairs. You're paying $180 every month just in interest. Your employer matches 401k contributions up to 5%, but you're only contributing 3% because money's tight. You've got maybe $1,200 in savings for emergencies. Your checking account balance makes you nervous every month. But none of that feels urgent. The credit card companies aren't sending you excited notifications. Your employer's HR portal isn't showing you flashy graphics about compound interest. Your emergency fund isn't posting gains on social media. This is how most people operate. They chase excitement while ignoring mathematics. They prioritize what feels good over what actually works. They build their financial strategy based on what gets them dopamine hits instead of what gets them wealthy. Recent data shows 58% of Americans are investing in the stock market. Sounds responsible, right? Except 47% of those same people don't have enough saved to cover a $400 emergency. They're investing while one unexpected expense away from financial disaster. The investment industry loves this. They make billions in fees from people who shouldn't even be investing yet. They market excitement and possibility while staying quiet about the foundation you need first. They show you the penthouse while you're standing in quicksand. You see someone retire early and think they must have picked amazing investments. You see someone build wealth and assume they found some secret strategy. But the truth is less sexy. They followed a sequence. They did boring things in the right order. They resisted the urge to skip steps. The weird part is everyone kind of knows this. Ask anyone if you should pay off high-interest debt before investing, and they'll say yes. But then they don't actually do it. The gap between knowing and doing is where wealth goes to die. Your brain is wired wrong for this. Evolution programmed you to prioritize immediate rewards over future benefits, to chase excitement over discipline, to value the new and shiny over the reliable and boring. Your instincts are actively working against your financial success. Think about how many times you've refreshed your brokerage app to check returns while ignoring the credit card statement in your inbox. How many hours you've spent researching which tech stock to buy while never calculating how much that debt is actually costing you. How many financial podcasts you've consumed while never once logging into your employer's 401k portal to verify your contribution rate. The financial industry has trained you to focus on returns while ignoring the foundation. They want you thinking about gains because that's exciting, that sells. Nobody makes money selling you on the boring work of debt payoff and emergency funds, but that boring work is what separates people who build wealth from people who chase it forever. And here's what makes it worse. Every month you get this wrong compounds the damage. That credit card interest charges interest on itself. That missed employer match is lost forever. That tax advantage space you didn't use this year is gone. You can't go back and fix it. The first reveal that breaks most people's mental model is this. Debt isn't just a number on a statement. It's negative investment performance that's guaranteed to beat almost any return you could hope for. When you carry a credit card balance at 22% interest, that debt is growing at 22% every single year. To break even on that decision, your investments would need to consistently return more than 22% annually after taxes. The stock market's historical average is around 10% before inflation and taxes. You're trying to outrun a car while wearing concrete shoes. Most people don't think about debt this way. They see debt as something separate from investing, two different categories in their mind. But mathematically, paying off high-interest debt is an investment with a guaranteed return equal to that interest rate. Let me make this concrete. You have $5,000 in credit card debt at 24% interest. You also have $5,000 to invest. If you invest that money and earn 10% annually, you'll have $5,500 at the end of the year. But your credit card debt grew to $6,200. You're down $700 despite making a profit on your investment. You played a game rigged against you from the start. The proper move is obvious once you see it. Pay off the debt. That's a guaranteed 24% return. No investment strategy can reliably compete with that. You just gave yourself a raise that compounds forever because you're no longer bleeding money every month. But here's what most people miss. There's one exception to this rule that's so powerful it actually comes before debt payoff. And 64% of Americans are leaving this money on the table every single year. Employer matching contributions are the only thing that beats paying off high-interest debt. When your employer offers to match your 401k contributions, they're giving you an immediate 50 to 100% return on your money, depending on their match formula. That's not a prediction or an average. It's guaranteed. Free money sitting there waiting for you to pick it up. The math is stupid simple. Your employer matches 50% of contributions up to 6% of your salary. You make $60,000 a year. If you contribute $3,600 to get the full match, your employer adds another $1,800. That's a 50% instant return before your investments earn anything. No debt interest rate competes with that. Yet most people don't max this out. They contribute 2% or 3% because they can't see past their monthly budget. They're leaving thousands of dollars on the table. Imagine your boss walking up and offering you $1,800 cash and you just shrugging and walking away. That's what you're doing. The optimal strategy becomes clear. Contribute enough to get the full employer match even if you have credit card debt. Then throw everything else at the high interest debt. Then increase your retirement contributions after the debt is gone. This sequence captures free money while minimizing how long you're paying interest. Most financial advice treats everything as equal priority. Save for emergencies, pay off debt, invest for retirement, all at once. But that's not how mathematics works. Some moves have higher returns than others. Some opportunities disappear if you don't take them. Sequence matters more than people realize. The foundation of wealth isn't complicated, it's just counterintuitive. You need money you can access immediately for emergencies so you don't derail everything when life happens. You need to eliminate guaranteed losses from high-interest debt. You need to capture guaranteed gains from employer matching. Everything else comes after. Think about it like building a house. You don't start by picking paint colors and furniture. You pour the foundation, you frame the structure, you make it weatherproof, then you make it pretty. Skip those early steps and the whole thing collapses when stress hits. But here's where it gets really interesting. Most people think once they've handled debt and captured employer matching, they can finally just invest however they want. Buy some index funds, maybe pick a few stocks, call it a day. That's when they make their second massive mistake. The second reveal is about taxes, and most people are handing the government tens of thousands of dollars extra because they don't understand the hierarchy of account types. You've maxed your employer match, your high-interest debt is gone, you've got some money to invest. The natural instinct is opening a regular brokerage account and buying investments. This is where average people stop thinking and wealthy people start printing money. Every dollar in a taxable brokerage account gets taxed multiple ways. Income tax before investing, tax on dividends annually, capital gains tax when selling. Tax-advantaged accounts flip this equation completely. Traditional IRAs and 401ks let you deduct contributions now. Roth accounts let money grow and withdraw tax-free forever. HSAs give you deductions, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawals for medical expenses. These aren't small benefits, they're wealth multipliers. Here's what matters. Invest $10,000 annually for 30 years at 8% returns. Taxable account leaves you around $740,000 after taxes. Roth account gives you $1.13 million. That's $390,000 extra from using the right account. Same investments, same returns, massive outcome difference. The sequence after employer matching is critical. First, max your IRA contributions. For 2025, that's $7,000 or $8,000 if you're over 50. Why IRA before more 401k? Because you control your IRA. You pick any investment you want with rock-bottom fees. The fee difference compounds brutally. A 401k charging 1.5% versus an IRA charging 0.05% costs you over $180,000 on a $500,000 portfolio over 30 years. Same investments, but the 401k provider bought a house with your money. After maxing your IRA, contribute more to your 401k beyond the match. The 2025 limit is $23,500 total, or $31,000 if over 50. Most people never get here because they skipped straight to taxable investing. Think about what this means in real terms. Someone maxing their IRA at $7,000 and 401k at $23,500 is sheltering $30,500 annually from current taxation. Over 30 years at 8% returns, that's the difference between $3.4 million tax deferred versus maybe $2.4 million in a taxable account after taxes. $1 million in extra wealth just from understanding account hierarchy. That's not theoretical, that's your retirement. Now, here's the account almost nobody uses despite being possibly the most powerful wealth tool available: health savings accounts. If you have HSA access, it should come right after maxing your IRA. HSAs are triple tax advantaged: deduct contributions, tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals for medical expenses, forever. No other account gives all three benefits. It's a retirement account disguised as health coverage. The killer strategy is paying current medical expenses out of pocket if possible. Let HSA money stay invested. Keep every receipt because there's no time limit on reimbursement. Pay for a doctor visit today, reimburse yourself from your HSA 25 years from now, tax-free. After age 65, HSAs work like traditional IRAs for any expense, paying only income tax on non-medical withdrawals. But medical expenses in retirement are guaranteed. Average couples spend over $315,000 on healthcare after retiring. Tax-free money for that is like having a cheat code. Most people ignore HSAs completely. Only 30% of eligible people have one. Most use them like checking accounts instead of investment vehicles. Massive wealth left on the table from not understanding what they have. The sequence is now clear: emergency fund so you don't derail, high interest debt because it's killing you, employer match because it's free, max IRA for control and low fees, consider HSA for triple tax benefits, then max 401k. Only after all that do you think about taxable accounts. Follow this order and you shelter $35,000 annually from taxes. Skip this order and you volunteer to pay thousands in unnecessary taxes because you couldn't resist picking stocks. But here's what nobody talks about. Even this sequence isn't the end. There's a final piece about how to actually invest within these accounts that determines whether you build wealth or just collect fees for financial companies. The system shift is understanding that investment order isn't just about account types. It's recognizing wealth building is a sequence of unlocking levels, not simultaneous goals. Most financial advice treats everything as parallel priorities. Save for retirement, and build emergency fund, and pay off debt all at once. Split money evenly, balance everything. This guarantees mediocre results. The wealthy think sequentially. Complete one level before moving to the next. Maximize one benefit before chasing another. Stack advantages instead of diluting resources. Here's the old way. Got a bonus? Split it 25% to debt, 25% to emergency fund, 25% to retirement, 25% to investing. Sounds balanced, feels responsible, mathematically inferior. The new way is ruthlessly sequential. Everything goes to your current level until maxed. Emergency fund incomplete? Entire bonus goes there. IRA not maxed? Every dollar there. Finish one level completely before starting the next. This feels wrong because it lacks balance. Your brain wants progress everywhere, but concentrated force creates faster results. You complete each level sooner, start capturing benefits earlier, compound advantages faster. The same principle applies to investment choices. Most people diversify wrong. They own a little of everything: 20 stocks, 10 ETFs, some bonds, some real estate, some crypto. This isn't diversification. This is diversification. Proper diversification is owning broad market exposure through low-cost index funds. One S&P 500 fund gives you 500 companies. One total market fund gives you the entire US market. One international fund gives you global exposure. 3 funds, complete diversification, minimal fees. People can't accept this simplicity. They think complex means sophisticated. Over 90% of actively managed funds underperform their benchmark over 15 years after fees. Professional managers with teams and algorithms lose to simple index funds. The more you trade, the worse you perform. The system shift is accepting wealth comes from consistent execution of boring fundamentals, not exciting stock picks, from maximizing tax advantages before chasing returns, from eliminating guaranteed losses before seeking uncertain gains. Your neighbor crushing it with individual stocks? Probably lying or lucky during a bull market. Your coworkers active trading? Probably underperforming the S&P 500. Your friends' crypto gains? Not mentioning losses or taxes owed. The unsexy truth is wealthy people hold boring index funds in tax-advantaged accounts for decades. They capture employer matches, max tax-deferred space, and let compound interest work. They win by not losing rather than hitting home runs. The new system treats finances like a factory assembly line, not a juggling act. Each station completes its task before moving forward. Emergency fund station funds to completion. Debt elimination destroys obligations. Employer match captures free money. Tax advantage station maximizes shelter. Only then does taxable investing happen. This feels mechanical and soulless. That's the point. Your emotions are terrible financial advisors. Your excitement loses money. Your fear loses money. Your instinct to tinker loses money. The factory executes optimal sequence repeatedly until wealth accumulates. Consider what happens when you deviate from sequential thinking. You spread $5,000 across 6 different priorities. Nothing gets completed. Your emergency fund stays inadequate. Your debt stays expensive. Your tax advantage space stays empty. You feel busy but accomplish nothing meaningful. Sequential focus would have completed 2 entire levels with that same $5,000. 2 problems solved permanently instead of 6 problems slightly improved temporarily. This is why wealthy people seem to make faster progress. They're not smarter, they're not luckier, they just refuse to dilute their focus. When they have money to deploy, it goes entirely toward the current priority until that priority is eliminated. Then they move to the next one with the same intensity. Concentrated force breaks through barriers that distributed effort just bounces off. But here's where most people completely derail even after understanding all this. They know the sequence, they understand the math, then they get to the investing part and start making exceptions because this time feels different. The exit loop is recognizing that knowing the right investment order is worthless if you can't execute when every instinct tells you to deviate. You've built your emergency fund, crushed high-interest debt, maxed employer match, filled your IRA, contributed to your HSA, maxed your 401k. You're ready for taxable investing. This is where 95% abandon the sequence and make emotional decisions. The market is up 30%. Your buddy made $50,000 on tech stocks. You start thinking maybe this time is different. This is where disciplined wealth building dies. You did everything right, then you decide rules don't apply because you found some compelling story. The wealthiest people followed a ruthlessly boring sequence and never deviated. They captured guaranteed returns before uncertain ones. They completed each level before starting the next. The sequence works because it's built on mathematics. You can't beat guaranteed 22% returns from eliminating credit card debt by picking stocks. You can't beat guaranteed 100% returns from employer matching by timing markets. But executing requires accepting uncomfortable truths. You're not as smart about investing as you think. Your stock picking ability is probably random chance. Your confidence is your enemy. Build emergency fund, eliminate debt, capture employer match, max IRA, consider HSA, max 401k, then taxable accounts. Repeat yearly. Just execute. The hardest part isn't learning the sequence. It's accepting you already know enough. Most people keep searching for secret strategies. The answer is disappointingly simple. Your investment order is probably backwards because everyone's first instinct is backwards. Evolution didn't program you for delayed gratification. Your emotions don't value boring fundamentals over exciting possibilities. The question isn't whether this sequence works. The data proves it works. The question is whether you'll actually follow it or convince yourself you're different. Most people choose the second option and wonder why they're not wealthy. If this sequence made you uncomfortable, good. That usually means you're doing something wrong and you know it. The gap between what you know you should do and what you actually do is where your financial future disappears. Close that gap or don't, but stop pretending you don't know what needs to happen.